Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome to another What the Wednesday with myself, the host, or one of our hosts, Q, Qualizar, Chris, the mic guy, dad next door, still rebranding and redefining ourselves, but we're having a good time with it. I want to welcome you all to a wonderful Wednesday. Today is December 30th. Today is December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We are almost finished with 2020, guys. We are so close to being there. 2020 is about to come to a close, and when 2020 comes to a close, it will be time for 2021 to take over. And we are looking forward to it, aren't we? I know I am. I hope all of you are. I hear Hopper is, as we're waiting on my co-host, Dusty the Game Hopper, to join us tonight. Man, it's just been an amazing ride. I just want to take a second while I'm here to thank everybody. My streaming and content creation career or efforts have changed so much over 2020, and what my expectations were at the beginning of the year to what they are now has just become an entirely different thing. But I think through maturity, I have really learned that I'm going in the right direction, and I'm really having a good time enjoying connecting with you guys, my community, my viewers, my listeners, and just having an amazing experience going through this process, learning myself, helping educate you all as well, and just doing good things in the process. So thank you all again. I want to reach out and say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. Thank you to my Twitch subscribers, also absolutely amazing. Every opportunity I get to connect with you guys on a personal level, learn something new about you while you learn about me, it's just a great time. So once again, thank you all for the amazing 2020 that we have been able to experience. And to talk about our topics for the night. Tonight we are going to be having a few different topics going on the panel, going around the lines of modern age follow for follow strategies. We've been seeing quite recently that there's been quite a few ideas going around about how follow for follow is changing, and nobody accepts follow for follow as a good idea, right? Nobody seems to say that, hey, follow for follow is the right approach, but people keep seemingly magically turning what they want into a new follow for follow idea. So we want to talk a little bit tonight about that and about how to avoid or how to interact with those individuals and what your approach should be. We want to talk about goals for going into 2021. Everybody goes into the new year with a resolution, with admiration, with an idea that they want to better themselves. Every new year you hear these. People go in with New Year's resolutions, right? And everybody has these amazing experiences or these amazing ideas that they want to do. And one of those things that we need to do as, not even as content creators, as people, right? One of those things we need to do as people is just understand that we need to set realistic goals and we need to approach this the right way. Don't be jumping straight into something that isn't going to necessarily be good for you. And the last thing is marking your stream for mature. Is it the right approach? Do you need to do that? Do you need to set yourself up for that type of streaming environment? Because being mature is something that is attached to your culture and your community. So once again, once Dusty gets in here and gets everything set up and we will be ready to move a little bit forward, we'll start talking about those topics there. Going on 2021 a little bit, the state of the culture today, the state of the environment, or what's the word I'm looking for? The state of people today is very interesting. As this COVID pandemic continues to change and things continue to get different with it, we see so much differences in the way people are reacting or responding. I feel like the longer COVID is in existence, we're reacting to it differently. And it looks like Dusty's joining me here now, so I'm going to go ahead and undeafen, and we will get moving forward here with the remainder of the podcast there.
Video.
Hey, Dusty, how we doing?
Hey, what's going on, Q?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. How did you finish out? How did you finish out on those last couple of rooms in Hades there?
I got to the boss of the first world. She clapped me a little bit, but we did take care of her, so the run will continue.
She clapped you.
Yeah. But that's what you have health for.
Yeah. That's why you don't play on hardcore mode, right?
Amen. Not yet.
All right, let's get ourselves transitioned in here.
It's good to me, man. Dude, this is the last What the Wednesday of 2020.
This is the last What the Wednesday of 2020, man. Can you believe it?
What a year. What a year. And yeah.
It has been it has been a year.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is the only thing you need to say about it to mean anything. Right? It has been a year. Like there's nothing more to, there's no dots, there's no like it's just been a year.
Right? You know, in like 2020 vision wise, it's like it's clarity, it's perfect vision, and this whole year has been like anything but. It's kind of weird. So it's just it's setting the bar real low for what's to come. So hopefully,
hopefully 2021 makes it very, very easy to excel because 2020 was so bad.
It should be easy, right? One would hope.
One thing that I think will be an interesting one, and I'm gonna go ahead and lower my music down here.
Cracked my higher plane IPA. I'm there with you.
All right. I wish, man. I wish. I'm on a small break. I'm on a small break because I have a feeling once me and my dad get together on New Year's Day, it'll be so I'm taking a couple of days to kind of clean my system out before I
So not New Year's Eve, New Year's Day you're getting together?
Yeah. So typically with my family we go Christmas with one family, and then we do New Year's Day with another family. That's kind of the way we split it. So every year, and then we switch families every other year or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but 2021 will bring zombies. That's the best thing I've heard. That's the only way it goes downhill.
Well,
Zombie apocalypse.
I did see.
And again, maybe that'd be fun.
But before we get rolling into topics tonight, I did see a tweet. And it made me giggle a little.
Yeah.
It said y'all thought 2020 was bad. Wait till it turns 21 and it's legal to drink, right?
That's fair, right? I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Even though, just a little contrast, I feel like I was worse with alcohol and things like that before I hit 21, because there was that just like I was doing something wrong to it, So I don't know.
It was fun to be bad. It was fun to be bad, right?
Exactly. Rebellious. The young age of not knowing what's good for you in any way, shape, or form. All right, what are we talking about tonight?
Okay, so
do it.
Rolling in, we have 3 main topics, so let's try to keep them at about, let's say, 15-20 minutes apiece.
Sure. I can't promise, but I'll do my best.
We'll try.
Just yell at me if I keep rambling.
Starting out, number 1 was, or we had the setting effective goals or effective resolutions for 2021 and being real with yourself about what your expectations are for the new year.
That's nice.
The follow for follow topic.
That one.
And the modern transition of what follow for follow is becoming. And
that's a lot.
The third one was one that you mentioned. What was the one that you mentioned?
Oh, my mature content, like what?
There you go. Yes, mature content and how it can have an impact on your content.
Yeah, let me see if I actually have an email back from. So I actually reached out to Twitch specifically about that one as well, because when searching for it, I found very little info.
Okay.
Very little.
Okay.
But yeah.
So
where are we hitting?
So let's start. So since we are last podcast, this is actually probably going to be my last stream, because I am planning to spend tomorrow with the family. So this should be my last stream of 2020.
Good for that.
Right? So last podcast, last stream of 2020. Let's start there. Let's start with an idea of how, like, setting effective goals and ideas for 2021, right? So first of all, I feel we both have ideas of what we want 2021 to look like. Like we both already have ideas of what we expect to accomplish in 21, or what we dream to accomplish in 2021. 2021.
So many things.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it.
So let's start out. Like, what are your primary goals?
Oh man.
In 2021.
I mean, I'm not going to dive into full detail for everything yet. I do plan during my little New Year's stream tomorrow to kind of paint the big picture, because I'll say I'm setting not my sights high, but my goals high. And it's not unrealistic stuff. It's all things that are going to be totally within, my ability to accomplish. It's just, I've always had problems really following through with things. So I'm reaching out to my community, family, friends, whatever it may be. I want to be accountable to everybody, including myself. So I'm going for like full transparency with everything and diving into the content creation in every way I can. But the biggest thing is just being realistic with any goals you set, whatever they be. What's the joke? Like January gym memberships skyrocket because everybody wants to, get into shape and this and that.
Right.
But that's on the list too. But it's something I always like to tell people is, specifically now with setting these goals, what I'm doing is looking at myself more than anything else, because I can't change things around me and expect things to get better. It starts from number one. It starts from you. If you aren't willing to make the change, the change isn't going to happen. You can make the world around you pretty imperfect, and that's just a Band-Aid. It's not going to last forever. So for me, it's really just, starting from the beginning, and that's with me. And I have a lot of fun, realistic stuff set up, content-wise, health-wise, life-wise. So I just look forward to kind of sharing that with everybody. 2021 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good. So yeah, so those of you that want to tune in tomorrow on his New Year's stream, he will be announcing full official plans. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be blasting it everywhere.
All right. So mine are a little interesting, and as you know, we've been talking about it. I feel like my goals for 2021 are to I don't have any objectives like total number of followers, total number of subscribers, total number of. It's more of like
that's kind of silly.
Well, so opinion. That's kind of what I want to get into after we. I just want to get to the point to say like mine are going to be more like consistency about what I say I'm going to do and doing it. Right. Yeah. And I did really, really good this year. I think we talked about it, right? My on my channel, I published, I said workout stream. Yes. Workout stream is in the works. It's in the works. The workout stream is in the works. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And I have a really, really bad problem setting expectations for myself so high that I forget that it's for you guys to enjoy, and even if it's not perfect, it's funny when it's not perfect sometimes and things like that. So it's my own fault that I make it seem like I have to have it perfect all the time, and it really anyway, yeah. So that's I need to be better about committing to those things, but like more of like getting serious about what direction the YouTube content is going to go, my standard content that I'm doing versus just the streaming content, right? Like, where is the direct focus? Yep. I mean, I'm sticking with microphones, right? But am I going to keep up streaming tips and critiques, things like that? Like doing more and more business branding for myself, like really finalizing and solidifying what I want my brand to be for the next 10 years instead of just coming up with these little like, oh, here's the logo. Let's use that for 3 months and then change it again, right? I've been testing the waters a lot in 2020. Right. Yeah, and that's been
Discord's got a new official logo.
Discord's got a new logo again today and a new name. And and so, I mean, I've been testing the waters really and trying to see what I like, because sometimes I put it up there and then a month later I'm like, yeah, that looks really dumb, or the name's stupid, or whatever. Right. Like, so I'm really trying to make sure that I get it right. And then once I do, lock it in. Yeah. We're going to secure it. We're going to roll with it, and we're going to buy domains. We're going to buy, all that kind of stuff, right? Really secure everything in, start doing formal branding experiences, because I think that's going to be the next approach, and that's where 2021 is going to be focused on. That's awesome.
Yeah, because again, it's okay for people with content creation to like, you're searching for your identity, and even as long as you've been doing it now, it's totally okay that like you're still narrowing in on it. But like you said too, now that you found it, it's full bore. That's it. It's It's not, oh, maybe I'll change it again in a couple months. Once you feel like you got something that sticks, own it, become it.
Right. So
it feels good. It really does.
So going into what I've already seen, and this is where I want to kind of touch with these 2021 goals and expectations, right? I made a video back in, I think it was in the beginning of 2020. It was either December or January, in that 2019, 2020 timeframe. And it was like setting goals and expectations for the year. Obviously 2020 went to duty,
what a
right?
time. What a time.
2020 went to garbage, right? We don't really count that for anything, but we want to say that, like, I've already seen it, like people hashtagging 2021 push for partner and these other things like that. And then you go check out their content and they're averaging 10 viewers, right? Yeah. That's what I want to say. Like, I'm not saying averaging 10 viewers is bad, right? Like, I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm trying to say that, like, personally, to me, push for partner is not a goal. It's not an objective. It's not a vision, right? It's not somewhere you want to be, because what happens when you get there, right? Like, what do you do next? There's nothing beyond that. Pushing for partner doesn't really give you anything, right? I think people set a false vision to what partner really grants you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of along the lines of setting real, serious expectations and goals that you can actually work towards, right? Like you mentioned earlier. Average viewers, you can't control that. You can do your best. You can do your best to make your content better, but you can't guarantee that anybody's going to watch you.
No.
Number of followers.
Nice.
You can't guarantee that people are going to follow you. Subscribers, etc., right? Like, people set these 2021 goals for things that are beyond their control.
Yeah. And dude, they feel hollow, too, at the end of the day. Because we've talked about it, and, both of us are closing in on 500 followers and things like that, it's awesome. But we could hit 1,000 by the end of the year, and we could still have the same, like, 5 to 10 average viewership. Because the following, it's like, it's great because you're committing to liking our content, but it doesn't mean that they're going to show up every time we're live. So what we can do, like you said, it's the viewership's out of our control, is we can just keep showing up, doing our best, do what we can to make our content better. So hopefully, when people do get eyes on us, they decide to stick around and continue to come back on a regular basis.
Right. Take something, and if you want to set a goal for 2021, set like monthly goals to enhance one thing on your stream every month, or perfect something. If you want to set it up to where every time one of Ninja's biggest things, and I think this was a huge piece of success for him. I think this was a huge piece of success for him in his early years, was the fact that every time he got his first win of the day, he did that pom-pom dance thing. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So people would come to the beginning of his streams because they wanted to see him do the dance, right? Solidify something that secures you as an individual, and make sure that you're doing it every stream, whatever it is, and commit to it and lock it in and make yourself an individual. It doesn't have to be, right, a number. It doesn't have to be followers, subscribers, viewers, number of streams, number of videos. It just has to be, when you do something, make sure you perfect it.
Yeah, I think what you're touching on there is one of the things that I really am striving for as well, which is, I think it's honestly the biggest thing into being successful, pretty much with anything, content creation, whatever it may be, is consistency. If you don't have a schedule, I'd say setting that for the new year is a great way to start. For those of people that have it, maybe set yourself to, I know a lot of people I see that cancel streams left and right. They can't make it because of this, because of that. If you have to take a day off your schedule to really be consistent with it, do so. But if you're promising people you're going to be online, we are a brand. You want to show up. You don't want to be the person that, I have to check on their Twitter to see if they're actually going live tonight, even though I know they're supposed to be on at 8 o'clock. Consistency is key. It really is. And I want to try to do that on all platforms, everywhere I can. Consistently be alive. One
strategy I will say is, even if you can't and you have to miss something, and you have to put it in Twitter, and you have to put it on your Discord, and you have to put it everywhere, go set your stream title. Sick.
Yeah.
Can't stream tonight. Set your stream title to something. So when somebody goes to your stream and they're looking for you,
that's smart.
It's at least in there, right? I do that every time I have to cancel a stream. I go set my stream title, and I said, internet is down, go watch GameHopper or something like that. Like I do.
Hey.
I put something like that, like something's not working or computer crashed or whatever it is, right? Whatever's going on, I put something in the stream title to make it, and it's something small, right? Like it's something small, but it's something that you consistently do.
It takes 10 seconds. Yeah.
It's something you consistently do so people know that if you're not live, at least they'll know why.
Yeah. No, it does. It goes leaps and bounds as far as keeping viewerships or keeping loyalty from your community. It's, consistency in communication, consistency in everything. And they appreciate that. And because you become someone they can rely on, they can set their clock to whatever it may be.
Right.
And I think personally, like I said, that's the key to being successful, with anything in life is just showing up and doing what you got to do and doing it on a regular basis.
I agree. So just we're already at almost 15. We're already almost at 15 minutes on this topic. So I mean, this is moving along. Look at you go. So to recap on 2021, right? If you're going to be setting resolutions for yourself, don't set them based on numbers. Set them on perfecting yourself.
Right.
Make an effort to make yourself better, even if it's read a book once a day. Read for 30 minutes a day on getting better with like communication or something like that. Do singing classes or do speech classes or something like that. You know how many times I go back and I listen to recordings of myself and I realize how bad I butcher words? It's all the time.
Never.
It's all the time. You know how many retakes I have to do for YouTube videos because my mouth gets away from myself? It's all the time.
On that.
and it's one of those things, like, it's something you don't think of, but speech classes could be a huge thing to help you learn how to just enunciate better and talk better and, take a voiceover class or something like that. Like things like that where you can do them, once a quarter do something, once a month do something, right? It doesn't have to be something that, something that's specifically dedicated around what you can't control.
Yeah, that's much better than this push for partner claim. Like, because even then, like, you read that and it's like, well, how? What are you doing to change? What are you doing to improve your growth? Like,
I'm just going to stream more. I'm just going to stream more. I'm pushing for partner. I'm just going to stream every day for 15 hours.
Like, and then we've talked about it. You're better off, streaming less and being on more social media platforms, whatever it may be. Like, I'm going to stream an extra hour a day. No. Spend that time on Twitter. Spend that time in other people's channels. Spend that time on Reddit. Whatever you can do, making content. There's so many other ways besides being live to help your brand out. And they're really, at the end of the day, the numbers will speak for themselves when you start to do more of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree. So we mentioned follower numbers, right? We mentioned follower numbers, and I wanna touch because I mentioned this earlier this week because I got into I got blocked by somebody because I called him out on it.
Some Twitter hate a little bit.
I got blocked by somebody because I called him out on it. And then today I saw another one.
Ooh, again?
I saw another one and I started to get...
Did you go at it?
I may have...
Man, I'm going to have to go check out your feed later.
It wasn't that bad. I only posted one tweet and I was like, okay, I need to leave this alone because I'm going to get carried away, right? But, it comes to the point, like, so earlier this week... Hold on, let's focus. Let's focus my brain before I get out of hand. Follow for follow is something that I don't believe any content creation guru or self-help person or motivational speaker or whatever you want to call them, like, I don't think that anybody has ever said follow for follow is the way to grow.
No, it sounds like a cult. Like, it's just this, like, weird, like, perfect world promise. And all you have to do is, accept yourself as one of the family. Like, I don't understand how people see that and think that that's the secret to success. So it amazes.
Earlier this week, and I was heated at the guy. I mean, like, when I read it, I like tensed up and I was like, I can't believe the way this guy wrote this. And maybe it was for attention.
The tweet was?
The tweet was, I don't even know if I can find it again.
I remember the gist.
Yeah,
I remember the gist of it if you need me to call it back for you.
It was the gentleman...
It was calling out fellow content creators in general, wasn't
right. It? Very specific to them. Actually, I can... Nope, I can't look at the tweet. So...
do you want me to see if I can pull it up for you? Otherwise, I can recite what I have from memory.
Cool story. He has still a public profile, so I can open it up in an incognito window and look at it. So, okay, so the tweet reads like this. I've unfollowed some content creators who've never said a peep to me on Twitter or let alone visited my stream one time. And I asked myself, I was like, you were unfollowing them because they didn't come to your stream.
Mm-hmm.
That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That means, if we should just start setting counters. If somebody doesn't come back in our channel or whatever it is, we'll just start unfollowing them everywhere.
Well, so here's my thought process. Why were you following them to begin with?
Yeah, right. What sparked?
That's what really gets me is that attitude doesn't hurt you. It hurts other people. Like, that's a negative attitude towards other people. Like, you're just going after them because they don't come and support you. You were never in it. You were never in it as a benefit to them.
It was 100% selfish on his part when he clicked the follow button, because he was hoping in return he was guaranteeing himself not even just a follow. He wanted participation in said stream and whatever else content wise that he creates. Which, you asked the question: was he doing that for everybody that he follows? Is that how it works?
Exactly. Because I can guarantee. Unless he's only following 10 people, but again, if he's asking for
follow, how many people is he following?
I just closed
let's dive into it. No, you're fine.
I don't want to call this guy out that hard, do I?
It's up to you.
He's following he's following 1,200 people. So does
living mother
does he go into 1,200? Are say half of them are streamers. Does he go into 500 streams every week and start hanging out with those content creators?
I would hope so, with the attitude he's
exactly
expressing towards people.
Exactly.
For him, yeah.
And it's such a terrible thing to go after this idea of, it is. It's this modified vision of what follow for follow should be.
Yeah.
Right? It's this idea that, if you're not supporting my content, I can't support yours. And that even goes a step beyond follow for follow, cuz me follow for follow, like, the original idea was it's just to boost follow numbers. Like, there was no guaranteed idea of, like, I could see on YouTube people pushing sub for sub. Right?
Yeah.
On YouTube, people are pushing sub for sub because... People are pushing sub for sub because they're looking for opportunities to get to that 1,000 subscriber for partner status, right?
Yeah. Exactly, to monetize their channel.
But there's no requirement to watch videos on YouTube or anything like that. Like, there's nothing... I mean, you do have to have that watch time eventually to make that partner status, and that's why they made partner status. That's why they made the requirement for partner status, right? But... on Twitch, you could get 1,000 followers, but if you can't get those, 3 average or 75, right, at partner level, right? If you can't get those average numbers, then you can't grow, even if you do follow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know me and you both know we've come across from different streamer groups and different things like that. Those kind of become follow for follow groups as well. But I've seen plenty of channels with 8, 9, 10, 20,000 followers, and they average 2-3 viewers on a nightly basis. And that's that goes to show right there that follower numbers mean absolutely nothing. You can't base anybody's popularity, growth, performance, anything off that number of followers they have on Twitch specifically.
I used to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I used to disagree with that, but now I definitely do agree to it for the most part.
Not 100% across the board, but
I think if you saw like a running trend of their follower numbers were consistently going up over time at a steady level, then you could say that, hey, they're doing something right. They're continuing to gain followers. They're in the right game category. They're in the right mindset when they stream, right time slots, whatever it is, right? I could say that you could see something like that, but or if you saw the opposite, where you saw like a huge downtrend where it was consistently losing followers, then you could say, yeah, there's something going on here. There's something good, bad, etc., right? But for the most, like just steady follower numbers, you're right, don't matter, right? At that point, average viewers matter way more than, it's impressions, right? At that point, it's impressions, not necessarily followers.
Which I think, honestly, too, that it's a little bit of a nod to Twitch for recognizing that. Because there's no follower number that you need for partner, right? It's just the concurrent viewers that they look at.
It's concurrent viewers.
Which that makes sense. It could be somebody with 1,000 followers that has the 75, or it could be somebody with 10,000. That follower numbers doesn't really dictate. I don't know what the percentage is across the board for what concurrent viewership is compared to following for channels. It'd be a very interesting number to kind of see. I'm sure it's got to be an insane spectrum. Like, it's got to be a huge range. If you really look into it, but
there are channels out there, and you really see it a lot in channels that host giveaways and things like that, and that's a whole nother topic. But channels that host giveaways and things like that,
started on giveaways.
Yeah, giveaways and things like that have thousands of followers, but those people only show up for one stream a month. Right, and there's a lot of people who do giveaways the right way. I'm not saying that all giveaways are bad.
No, for sure.
But I've seen people do them privately in their Discord and things like that, right? Like, hey, make sure you join Discord. We do giveaways there, so that way it's kind of connected. Right, exactly. But it's one of those things where, like, you're right. The giveaway thing is just a whole nother level of it gains followers, but it may not gain viewers, right? As soon as the giveaway's over, peace, right? I'm out.
Yeah. We had that in a streamer group that we were a part of that I was not a fan of. That was a thing.
The big giveaways from, and it was giveaways where, sponsored by the group.
Yeah, follow this person on Twitch and you get another additional entry into said giveaway. And like, sure, cool. If you're just trying to pad your follower numbers, go for it. But like, I had to specifically ask not to be included on that list because I much prefer the organic growth. I think you did the same thing.
Yeah. I was never a part of that list, so
yeah. Those streamer groups are just follow for follow groups too. Not all of them. Again, I'm not saying not all of them. The stream teams, orgs, whatever people classify themselves as these days, they come and go, and you can meet some great people, like how I met Qualizar. It's it's been a good, long-lasting relationship that did spark from one of those. So they're not all bad. You just got to know what you're looking for and have your expectations set appropriately when you join them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the one thing that I would say is, I see it, experimental. The one thing I would say is, at what point, now touching on like, at what point are you not following for following? At what point are you, because there's a lot of times I go to a streamer and I'm hanging out with them and I'm just chilling and like I'm in chat and then I'm like, okay, I've been here for 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, I'll drop a follow, right? And then that person's like, oh, thanks for the follow. I'm going to go follow you now. And like, at what point am I just like, okay, I may not come back to your stream, but I enjoyed what I was watching when I watched it, like.
Yeah, no, and then again, that's what that is. And not that it's, in no way am I like condoning anybody if they ever unfollow someone. There's nothing wrong with that. I know I've unfollowed some people just because I've gone and peeked in on the content again, and I didn't enjoy what I see, and that's okay. Like, your bar gets so filled after a while on Twitch that I want to make sure it's people that I'm interested in watching when I log on, without scrolling through 70 pages of the 9,000 Twitch streamers I follow. So, it's just a matter. Yeah, I don't really get to when they, when you raid people, oh, I'm going to make sure I follow or check you out, and how many people actually follow up on that. Sometimes it just seems like it's something they say because they're trying to be grateful for the moment that just happened, which is awesome. You do create a nice little connection off the rip there. They get added to your host list whenever you raid anybody, but it just seems so superficial after a while. that I don't know what to think about it sometimes. I shake my head at it all, man. There's so much.
Yeah, I would say I don't raid with the expectation of getting anything from their community. I raid with the expectation of getting something back from that content creator. I do that though. Like if I raid somebody, I feel like I'm going to sneeze.
Yeah. Oh, got it.
I'm good.
Look at something bright.
I'm good.
Watermelon.
My ring light that's in my face right now. Now I lost my train of thought.
Talking about when you raid somebody.
Yeah, when I raid somebody, I expect something. Like I raid people that I would love to connect with or collaborate with or do more content with, or somebody that I feel is very similar to the type of content that I provide.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%, which is why, most occasions I usually don't raid out. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just because I don't really like to just pick somebody willy-nilly. Like, I want it to be, again, because, we've talked about this, but we're entrusting our community with another person, whoever they may be, and we want to make sure we're sharing them, and, we want to make sure our community goes in there and is nice to them, and they're nice back, and sometimes you can't just know by, like, peeking in on somebody's channel for 60 seconds and being like, oh, hey, yeah, they're playing the same game I was, let me just head over there. So that's why I'll be picky for sure when I raid out. I don't know if I have expectations. The only expectation I think I have is to get acknowledged. Like, just say, like, hey, welcome. Like, if you don't get that, you can be for sure I'm never coming back to your channel ever. Viewer, rate, or whatever it may be.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I don't look for much more than that out of it.
So, one more time, I guess, to finalize that. Guys, don't fall into a follow-for-follow trap. Oh, I never mentioned the second tweet. I never mentioned it. There you go. I never mentioned the second tweet.
Hit us with it.
The second one was somebody posted today, and I just kind of went like, I was like, I gotta tap this one. I gotta get into it. They posted new pinned tweet, retweet for retweet.
Oh,
so it's a new idea, right? It's not follow for follow. It's retweet for retweet. And in parentheses, I'll only retweet artists that follow me.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
You're trying to boost your impressions. You're trying to boost your impressions by gaining retweets, by using other people to follow you and retweet your own content. Like, you're like, yeah, I'll retweet your stuff. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything to retweet your stuff.
Yeah,
but,
right.
like, you're spreading your brand so far, because if everybody that follows you, if you retweet something from everything that somebody follows you, then it could be so off-brand for what you're trying to do. You're spreading yourself so thin, and you don't know who you're connected to.
Yeah. Well, no, to me, that's the beauty of doing it organically, is the following that you create are the people that want and are looking for that type of content. Like some of these things that you can find on Fiverr or whatever it may be, like, oh, we'll send out your YouTube link to 1,000 people. You don't know what that 1,000 group of people is. It could be people who are interested in everything but your type of content. So it doesn't really help you. It's just, if you do it the right way, which again, there's no perfect formula, but I know we usually just say if you put it out there, eventually the people who want to see it will. Which, I still have faith that stands true. That's the way to do it. Like, you can't force something on someone who doesn't want to see it and expect them to be like, hey, this is great. It just doesn't work that way.
I totally agree. And it's funny you mentioned the Fiverr thing about the organic growth, because I think we talked about that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago we talked about that.
Looking at some stuff.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, I never even thought of it as an idea. But I mean, it makes sense. It was like, if I share this to 1,000 people, if I share your link to 1,000 people, maybe you'll get 5 people to click it. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not paying. I'm not paying $35 for you to share my link, right? Like, I'm not. I could create a Facebook ad for that point. Like, I could create a promoted content through Facebook for that value.
And that algorithm is going to do a lot better job than some random.
It's going to do a lot better job isolating individuals that will be more likely to click your content than somebody who's just sharing it. So people people don't fall into the Fiverr trap. Just go and promote your content. If that's the route you want to go, which I've promoted my own videos on YouTube, right? I've done it. It's effective. It is effective.
Yeah, no.
You know,
Google's algorithm, they're on point. You know, we all know when we search for something and then the next thing we're seeing ads on every other website we go to.
if you want to go and do that, if you want to go, don't use Fiverr. Don't get somebody. Let the company that you're trying to work or the platform you're trying to work on do the work for you. Right? We had a talk 3 months ago. Invest in yourself. Right? Invest in yourself. Part of that, like people say, oh, these promoted tweets and these promoted Facebook posts and these promoted videos, that's just people trying to grow without organic growth and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, that's the way companies market material. That's a real thing. Yeah. Like, and if you use the algorithms and people that like your content get it in front of their faces, you know, people who like similar content get your content in front of their face, they're more likely to click it and watch it.
Yeah.
And it costs
not everybody, obviously, but
it can cost as little as, like, I think the YouTube stuff starts at, like, you can set it up for a penny per click.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it can be something really small. Now, you don't get a ton of clicks because you're only paying a penny per, but it's something, right? It's something to get your content moving forward.
Honestly, I think what it comes down to is all these other things, all they're trying to do, like everything, you know, be it, you know, these infomercials for, you know, get rich quick or lose a bunch of weight fast. Everybody's trying to sell you a shortcut that in the end is never going to amount to anything for you. They get money in their pocket. They get more successful by you trying to better yourself in the wrong way because you just want to do it quickly and you're being lazy about it. You know, that's why my title I did Follow for Hollow is more like Hollow for Hollow, because that's what you're getting out of it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's funny you mention that, because even if like we talk about it all the time, like if Shroud were to come and dump a 10,000 person raid on you, right? If Shroud were to do that today, it's not whether or not you're capable of handling 10,000 people. It's whether or not your content is valuable enough to make 200 of them return. Right? Like, are you the guy that they're going to watch when they're not watching Shroud, right? Like, you can do everything you can. You can do everything you can to put yourself in front of 1 million eyes. But if you don't have the ability to entertain those 1 million eyes, or 2 million, if it's, 2 million people, 2 million eyes, whatever. You know.
Tons.
Anyways.
Boatloads.
Yeah, just all those people. If you don't have the way to entertain those people, you can't grow. You need to make sure that you are exercising everything in your own abilities. Exercising, growing yourself. I meant that in like a matter of like growing and making yourself better, or exercising. But
I mean, I've been growing myself quite well for 33 years. Just saying. No, yeah, and two, like with a guy like Shroud, like obviously you know what people are there for with his content. They're there to watch this pretty much near human aimbot play FPSs at a very high level. So just quickly look at yourself. You're like, hey, how do I compare to that? And let's be real, most of us, nowhere near it. They're not going to come back for you. Nobody wants to watch you, you know, succeed at like bronze level Apex. You know, it's
don't hate on my bronze. Don't hate on my bronze tier Apex play.
Just accept it. You know, nobody goes. There might be some people that go to Shroud for his personality. I personally don't think he has much of one, but you know, love you, Shroud. CS:GO for life, man. Counter-Strike. You know, I was born and raised on it, but everybody, you know, they go to different people for different things. So all you can try to do is be yourself and hope people will like it. You know, not everybody will, and that's okay.
So to close out follow for follow. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Like, there's a point. There's a trap. There's pure networking. There's pure growth. There's an ability to actually work with individuals and make your content better. Or actually, like, if you game with somebody all the time, follow them. Like, if you meet somebody and you enjoy their content, follow because you like somebody. Don't follow and expect something in return.
I honestly think, too, at the end of the day, it looks bad. It looks bad on somebody who has 10,000 followers and 2 concurrent viewers. Like, obviously, when all of us see that nowadays, anybody who's around Twitch, we know that something's up there. You know, either their channel was made a long time ago and they just don't stream consistently anymore, or, you know, some sort of just follow bump somewhere along the way, or they join these groups. And I just think it doesn't look good. So don't do it.
All right.
Don't do it. It doesn't help.
All right, last topic, and this is kind of directly related to, actually this can be related to YouTube as well, YouTube, Twitch. Yeah, I don't know if Facebook has this feature specifically, so I can't validate whether or not Facebook has a mature content filter, but I do know that YouTube has an 18 plus filter, and Twitch does. Now, does setting your content to mature do anything?
Yeah, like
positive or negative?
And honestly, because I think we're both separate here, because you yourself don't have your channel set to mature, and I do, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. And it's been something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, because, you know, I've seen it on the subreddit, the Twitch subreddit a little bit, and I've kind of thrown in my bits and pieces here. I've reached out to Twitch personally. I haven't heard anything back yet. Obviously, the holidays and stuff like that, it's probably going to be a little bit before, so I will keep people posted on what I do eventually hear. But even just from my own personal, like, poking around and things like that, all it seems that it does is when people go to your stream, it just gives that black overlay with the button of this person is for mature audiences, 18 plus. Do you accept? You click yes, boom, it's like anybody else's stream. You know, there's no protections as far as getting bans or your channel suspended or whatever it may be for some content deemed, you know, adult or whatever it may be. I don't know as far as searching. Can you search for channels that are mature only? I don't even know on Twitch, to be honest. If anything, I feel like you'd show up less.
Apparently, my neighbors are setting fireworks off early, so if you guys hear some random noises, that's what that is.
Early New Year. I don't hear anything, thankfully, but
all right.
Can you search for mature content, not mature content channels?
I believe so. You can search for family friendly, right?
Okay.
Family friendly is a tag. I don't know. Yeah. Well, no, because family friendly is an actual tag. You have to put in your stream tag.
Okay.
I don't know, but just for clarification, it's about 75% of channels are non-mature.
Yeah.
Right. So there's I'm just looking at in the last 7 days. Out of the channels that went live, 475,000 rounded, 475,000 channels were mature, and 1.4 million were not mature.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and it's not like I never hear anything, you know, about like, oh, well, this person got a ban or a suspension because their channel wasn't marked as mature and they were swearing, you know? Like, that doesn't happen, as far as I know.
Right.
If it does, people don't talk about it. I know I personally have mine marked as mature, honestly, really just for my fan fries, because we play some silly games that can get really inappropriate at times. And sure, well, we'll be real fast. There's a lot of people that end up in my stream that aren't over the age of 18, because as we've talked about in another podcast, all they do is give you a little button to click yes or no. It doesn't matter what your birthday
even
is
if the account even if the account is set to a younger age, you can still click it and get through.
So like, I have plenty of people that aren't 18 and they're still in there playing the games, which, you know, they're choosing to do so. I'm not going to knock them for it. It's, if people get offended, they can leave. That's what I usually say beforehand. I do my own disclaimer. So I just wonder, am I hurting myself? Am I doing myself a disservice by keeping that mature on there when most of the time, you know, I'm not going to say it's wholesome content. I drop some F-bombs here and there. You know, we all get frustrated playing games, but
so I will say
there anyways. You know, that's my like.
I will say that there is some significance to it in terms of the content that is streamed. It's not necessarily, to my understanding, it's not necessarily the vocals, but like the whole cyberpunk thing. Right? Mm-hmm. The whole cyberpunk character creation thing like that. Like, from what I understood, there was a big topic and discussion about that when that first released, right? And from what I understood, if you had a non-mature stream and you showed the character creation, that was considered a bannable offense. But if you were marked mature, it didn't matter. Okay. Right?
That's
so it's
the first time I've actually heard something where that would actually make a difference.
Right. There's some I started, because when Cyberpunk started to come out, I started to read some of the requirements for that and like what was involved with marking a stream mature. And that was one of the things that was kind of discussed, is where if the game showed some form of nudity, then you should be marked as an 18 plus, right? Obviously they can't track down every viewer and make sure every viewer is, but right, you need to make sure that you at least are making the announcement to say, hey, this is a mature stream, you know, proceed with caution. Right? And that's one of the factors there. Now, when you're talking about from a branding perspective, I don't necessarily believe, or at least I've seen no numbers to validate either way, but I don't necessarily believe that there is specifically anything in the numbers that'll say if you're mature, you have a potential opportunity to lose sponsorships or opportunities, right?
Yeah, or vice versa, you know? Like, you know, would an alcohol company reach out to somebody with a non-mature channel for some sort of endorsement? So now I've seen what Tim the Tatman has done, like Bud Light Seltzer. I feel like they have some sort of deal.
He was in the Miller Lite. Wasn't he in the Miller Lite commercial?
Yeah. Which I know, like, I looked, like, Tim the Tatman, his channel is marked mature content. And then, like, Nick Merckx is not. Which, to me, you know, Nick Merckx primarily plays Call of Duty, which is, you know, a violent game that, you know, many people would say is rated mature on its own, but
13 plus to play it, though. 13 plus to play it.
Yeah.
According to terms of service.
Anyway, which I don't know if that's the reason. So I don't know how that works in a sense, but I don't feel like I'm personally thinking about at the beginning of the year turning it off and just, number one, seeing what happens. I'm obviously going to wait to see what Twitch comes back to me, because I did really just ask them straightforward, like, what am I doing by setting that up? Am I giving myself any additional protections for content or things I do? Or is it really just to prevent, you know, people by giving them this screen that they have to trick their way through?
Right. Right. Yeah, like, because you might be right. You might be right. There might be a list of people who click it and they're like, oh, you know, I don't want to deal with this, right? Yeah. I can say on the YouTube side that if you mark your stream mature and the individual connecting to it has a YouTube account created for them, like say their birth date is right, it will not let them watch the video.
Yeah. Which honestly, that's the way it should be. That makes sense to me. Like, it's silly that there's other places out there that don't enforce that same type of protection.
Right.
I don't know. Does Twitch ask you for a birthday?
When you create your account, I would assume they'd have to. I would assume they have to, because you have to be, or they may not. It might just be, do you validate they're 13 years or older? They might just. I have no idea. I say I assume they'd have to, but I guess they don't have to.
That is one of those things. It's, again, we've talked about it plenty of times. There's just such a gray area when it comes to the internet and what children really can have access to, and even what parents are told they can't access, but, you know, it takes one click of a button to get past this crazy wall of protection. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's, so I would say from a sponsor's perspective, I would say that I don't think it matters anymore. I think it would matter more along the lines of, like, obviously, if you have a mature stream and you're still pretty wholesome, you just have it there for protection reasons or whatever, or you curse a lot, right? Whatever. If you curse a lot, more power to you. There's a lot of people who do nowadays, right? Like, it's not, it is and it isn't a big deal, right? If people get offended by it, then they're just not going to watch your content, right? Like, but more people don't care. There's way fewer people that care today than there was 20 years ago, right? So,
and the exposure, I think that has a lot to do with it too. Like, you know, what we could get access to at 13 is very different from what 13-year-olds now can get their hands on.
Exactly. So I would say that I don't think it matters as much, but obviously, like, if you have your stream set to, again, my mouth, exactly, speech lessons being signed up for in 2021. If you have your stream set up for mature, but all you do is smoke pot on stream, right? Even though it's a mature stream and it's legal, right? Yeah. There might be brands or companies that don't come to you because that's not what they want their content to be associated with. They don't want you holding a big fat blunt in your mouth while, you know, you're opening a box from Corsair. That's not what they want, right?
but Snoop Dogg will definitely be giving you a call.
Oh, but Snoop Dogg, yeah. I mean, Corsair would call Snoop Dogg in a heartbeat. There's a big difference. Big difference at that point. But I'm just saying, like you're gonna have opportunities like that where I think it's less about the value of whether or not you're mature or not, but actually what you're producing in your content. Right?
Yeah. No, and yeah, that's why I'll be curious to find out what I'm told as far as, because again, I mean, what you said about the character creation screen for Cyberpunk, that was the first concrete example I've heard where having your channel set to mature or not would make a difference to prevent anything from happening to you, punishment wise and stuff like that. So if that is the case, like we're entitled to stream more things, or that's all it is, then yeah, I don't really see a reason that I need to be setting my channel mature if, you know, once in a while I talk about male and female anatomy during a funny game. Like, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally understand there. Maybe
my viewership will jump. Who knows? I'm actually curious. I do want to look around on Twitch and see if channels are available to everybody or not everybody based on what they have it set for, and you know, maybe make another dummy Twitch account.
Make a dummy Twitch account at the age of, you know, set it for the age of 14 and see what happens. Like do an experiment.
See what differs. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
2021, year of experiments.
There you go.
Lots of fun stuff to come for the podcast, guys. It's going to be a good year.
All right. So that rolls us right in at 55 minutes for the day here. What do you say, man? What do you say?
God bless 2020 being just about done, you know?
Yeah.
One more day.
Yeah,
One more day.
Well, I'm going to say we have close to 5 minutes left on 2020's podcast. Although I will say 2020 was an amazing year for us to kind of
really was.
Get together. Because when did we start? We started in August? Did we start in August?
Honestly, I don't even know, man. Like, pretty much from like March till now is just like this weird marshmallow of time.
I can tell you when the first one.
I've been explaining time as marshmallows lately, if anybody wants to know. I really don't have a rhyme or reason why.
Time as marshmallows.
How I can think about
that's
it now.
unique.
It's the only way to think about it.
Time as marshmallows is very unique. I'm surprised about that.
Squishy.
I'm trying to look now. I'm going to look and see when I published our first episode on 6/20. So
Okay.
June 20th.
All right.
So we've been doing this podcast
6
since
months.
June. So
Yeah.
6 months of the podcast, growing slowly at a time, you know, just and I think a big part of these 6 months for us has been learning how to facilitate the podcast, right? Like, I mean, we've got the recording part down. We can talk to each other, but it's the more of like, how do we turn it into a non-streamed event, right?
Yeah, doing it for like 3.5, 4 hours in the beginning was a little bit much.
It was a little bit long
much for us and for everybody, you know, talking about like 9 topics at one time. It was just
too much.
It was overload, and then we were running into weeks where like, what do we talk about now? We just talked about literally everything 7 days ago. We got to space this out a little bit better. So I think we've definitely come a long way if we go back and watch like day one compared to what we are now. So I'll be curious to see what we are another 6 months from.
And I want to thank everybody, you know, from myself and from Dusty on, you know, all of our Twitter engagements, followers, likes, people who have given us comments and feedback, YouTube,
all you lovely people,
Twitch, Patreon, anybody out there that has connected with us in some way. Discord, another big one for us.
Anybody who listens to this podcast on Anchor, Spotify, whatever it may be, bless you as well.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to connect with us, anybody who has connected with us, we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for an amazing 2020. And we look forward to 2021 being an incredible year and just doing some awesome stuff, getting some great content out to you guys, and just smearing our love all over the place.
Oh, God, that sounds dirty, but I love it. Oh, yeah. There's not enough thanks. There's not enough words for all you guys. Just keep up the support, and we promise we'll keep doing what we're doing and making it better for you in every way we can.
So you ready? The last send-off for 2020?
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Last one for
I feel
2020.
like we just did, but everybody out there, be it online live with us right now, YouTube later on, Anchor, Spotify, wherever anybody else might listen to a podcast. God bless you. 2020, we're almost done. We're almost there. One more day. Hang in. And we hope to all see you again in 2021. Amazing things are going to happen. We love you very much. Till next time.
All right. Now, for those of you that are still watching here, I will be switching over from the YouTube content over to the Twitch content. In the interim, be sure to go to twitch.tv/TheGameHopper. Go join him in chat. Go join him in chat. I don't know what we're playing yet. I'm going to find out when I go live. Go join him in chat right now, twitch.tv/TheGameHopper. Go have some fun. I'm going to go to the bathroom, get a drink, check in with Jamie, and then I will be live on twitch.tv/Qualizar in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to get ready